Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I am your host, GameChanger. Okay, let's make it happen. So, Dr. Umar said a thing, and he finally said something that I agree with. Basically, this is where he critiqued Black women's overall mating strategy for long and short term. Basically, he pointed out the flaws in it and how what he would call snow bunnies have a superior mating strategy than Black women, and superior in the sense that it's far more effective at getting what they want from Black men. And whether that's a BBC or a big, broad bank account, they are getting that in abundance. They have the strategy in order to make this happen. Now, this is something I think that many Black men would agree with, and many Black women would also agree with, just not openly. And he's received a lot of pushback for what he said. But today, at least in the beginning, we're not going to focus on the pushback. What we're going to do is focus on hitting that like button. And if you're new here, hitting that subscribe button. And we are going to get into it from beginning to end, the entirety of the interview, because I watched it sporadically, meaning I had it on my computer, but I was in and out of my office while it was playing. So I got bits and pieces, but not the whole thing. But let's just say the Queen is upset. She is upset at this betrayal. And part of the reason is because there's a certain expectation from Pan-Africans, pro-Blacks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that is that they are that they deify Black women blindly, that they don't see any faults in them, even the ones that they see in themselves. That's the expectation. And when that expectation isn't met, then that's when you get the Sinjis and the Chrissies of the world. Hit that like button. And he is flirting with that. He's flirting with that. Basically, I could picture somebody clipping what he said here completely out of context, and then 20 years from now saying this is, or 10 years from now, or even 5 years from now, like, this is why we divest, because even the pro-Blacks are saying, this, I see that happening. I definitely see that happening. All right. Now, in lieu of the short of the day, I wanted to share something else with you. And this is something that is enormously troubling. This happened when I typed for a thumbnail. I typed in the word snow bunny to get that beautiful Nordic woman that you see in the thumbnail on Dr. Umar's shoulder. So when looking up pictures of that, something else came up. And I want to share this with you in lieu of a short of the day. All right. So let's do it like this. Yes. I want y'all to always remember, one, that you've seen it here first, but always remember that this was a thing, that this is a thing. This is a thing. This is a thing. This is a thing. For those of you who are listening but not watching, what we see on our screen is a children's book entitled Stay Away from Sneaky Snow Bunnies by J. Starr. I'm going to get to the chat room in a moment, but I want people to take this in. It's a children's book entitled Stay Away from Sneaky Snow Bunnies by J. Starr. Now, as many of you know, I frequent the bookstore. And every now and again, I'll take a picture of something that I find interesting. and there's a lot. Like I don't really like just dwell in. I don't go there looking for stuff, but I'm like, I can't believe that this is a thing. For example, when the book came out for The Hate You Give, it was like on the corner of the black intersection, and I was like, and I read the thing, I read the back, and I was like, did they just make a book about a young black man that was deleted by cops, but it was all about the woman? It was all about his girlfriend. I was like, oh crap, I can't believe they did this. I cannot believe that they actually wrote a book. And then it just got ridiculously worse when I seen that they made a movie out of it. Basically, that the whole concept of that was yes, 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 he's gone, but look at me. Like, excuse me? Yeah, yeah, he's gone, but look at me. Well, shouldn't the focus be on the victim? Oh no, oh no, oh no. I almost gave him a HJ. So look at me. Look at me. We kissed. Look at me. It's like, oh crap. And then they made a movie about it because look at them, right? So I always find it the type of crap that people make into books and try to sell it to the populace. Shout out to Obsidian. This is complete, and this is for kids. You think there's a message here? They are brainwashing little boys. Okay. All right. Let's read the back of this. Malcolm, of course his name is Malcolm. Malcolm is the liveliest and most adventurous boy in town, where a snowy day beckons him outside. Oh, that's when. It's blurry because I'm zoomed in a lot, but that's when. When a snowy day beckons him outside, Malcolm's curiosity leads him into a world of mischief with his best friend Umar. I can't make this up. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. I cannot make this up. With his best friend Umar. But when his parents warn him to steer clear of sneaky snow bunnies, dun, 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 Malcolm must decide whether to heed their advice or succumb to temptation. Holy crap. Holy crap. So I doubt that they have this at the Barnes and Nobles that I go to. Because it's a kid's book, I would be able to read it there. I am not going to give them $11.95. Though I'm curious, though I am ridiculously curious about this, I am not going to give them $11, and I think it's like $11.95 to go into this book. I'm hoping that they have it there. I'm hoping that they just have it at the bookstore so I can read it and laugh. I'm hoping. I'm wondering, like, what is these sneaky snow bunnies doing? What are they cautioning little black boys against? This is hilarious. This is hilarious. Wow. I just can't. I can't make this. I seen this. You just Google the word snow bunnies and this came up. I was like, holy crap, this is a thing. This is a thing. Man. All right. Let me read some comments. I'm gonna leave this up. I'm gonna leave this up. Hit the like button. All right. This is gonna be an instant classic. Yes, yes. That's all videos. The Queen and the don't need a man attitude are destroying families and datings. Would you be? You say that like it's not destroyed. Okay, let me ask you this, Anthony Williams. Shout out to you. I want you to, in your head, count the number of funerals that you've been to in the last 10 years. And then I want you to also, in your head, count the number of weddings you've been to in the last 10 years. And tell me which one is greater. You don't have to give me the number. Just tell me which one is greater. Because if it's more funerals than weddings, that's a community dying. Possibly community gone. What's up, dude? What's up, Ray? Wow. Like the gracious baby book. Ah, yeah. It's that deep. What's good, Snazzy? Race Ray says, wow. I bet the black woman is loving that. You think? You think? Now, where's the white man who wrote a children's book entitled Stay Away from Those Mud Sharks? Oh, excuse me. Those sneaky mud, like that's something from like 100 years ago. That's something from, oh crap. I think a lot of dudes acting crazy overseas are part of the paid, what's that, coin telpro operation to dirty up black man's image so they have less chances of escaping the plantation. You might be on something. Question is, who's paying? I'm laughing at the snow bunny book. Yeah, I mean that's what it's there for. Trust me, I'm going to ask because the thing about Barnes and Nobles is that if you request that they order a book, you have to buy it. I don't know what happens if you don't buy it. If you say, "Hey, I want you to order this book for me," and you don't buy it, but just buy the book. I don't want to buy the book, so I'm hoping they have it there. I really do. I hope that they have it there. Stay away from anybody with a rainbow flag. Yes, stay away from the rainbow bunnies. I guess you know what makes a bunny rabbit a rat. What's the difference between a bunny rabbit and a jackrabbit? I'm gonna Google that. Stay. Yeah, exactly. This book isn't. Don't talk to strangers. Those sneaky snow bunnies. Oh yeah, definitely dying. Um, my plat had 378 kids in 1990s. Wait, what? What's a plat? And in 2022, 75 kids. Yeah. And not to mention, I always tell people to focus on the non-bastard birth rate. That's a way to gauge how well a group of women is keeping the family structure together. Because that's their primary job, is to keep the family whole. Whether it's through a series of family reunions, they're cooking, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That has always been a woman's job, is to keep the family together. Having a high, or excuse me, having a low non-bastard birth rate is the exact opposite of that. All right. Oh, really? Okay, so that's a good or a bad thing, but it's definitely not a good thing, actually. All right, so now to the topic at hand. Let me get this right the first time with the sound. And let me move this. And let's get started. Now, like I said, I've seen a bit of this. So I'll go from the beginning. So it'll give the preview. But
Africa has to be strong. Africa has to be respected. None of us can do better than the continent we come from. Be honest, my queen.
A lot.
um but her body though. But her body though. But her body though. Just saying.
A lot of the dilemmas that get sent in from my listeners talk about struggling to find a man who
Struggling to find what kind of. A big difference between the snow bunny and the African queen is the snow bunny will find a black man in progress.
Black women are willing to hold it down for the man. I feel like we're always there supporting them. If anything, black women get the short end of the stick.
If it ain't nappy, I ain't happy.
By the way, that body though, like I just described, is why Dr. Umar is there. That is why Dr. Umar is there. I looked at the page. This video got a lot of views, but the page only has like 2,000 subscribers. It has like half my subscribers. So the reason he's there is because of that body though. Because we all know he's a pervert. Or let's just say, I'm gonna call him pervert.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Wintana, and you are tuned into the Bittersweet Podcast. And today we have a very, very special guest on the podcast today. We have American African Pan-Africanist, psychologist, motivational speaker, Dr. Umar Ifatunde. How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
Sometimes I think that people like him just make up a bunch of words that sound African and name themselves that. I really do. I think that they just put together a bunch of gobbledygook that sounds African and call that their name. My name is Umar Ifatunde Kutakente Yumabumbe Babuya Ha Jenkins. I think that's what they do.
Queen.
I'm very well, thank you. I'm so excited to have. I actually can't believe you're here in Australia.
Me either.
On the Bittersweet Podcast.
It's been a long time coming.
Is this your first trip here?
First time in Australia. You
Amazing.
guys were the last continent. I've done every other continent but you.
How are you liking it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I've had a great time so far. I landed in Sydney Thursday morning. Didn't see any black people for about 5 hours. I was going to go back to the airport and go back to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But then I flew to Melbourne and I started seeing African people. So I said, I guess this was not a CIA setup.
So Melbourne's the most that you've seen.
Yes. In Queensland yesterday, we had a great program there as well, but not as many Africans.
Those legs, that's why he here. She got like 2,000 subscribers. This man is that body though.
Yeah.
Melbourne has been the New York City of Australia.
Melbourne is definitely, and I think over the years, I don't think it wouldn't have been the same situation if it was a few years ago.
Okay.
Or I don't know if more people are flying into Melbourne, or we just have more of a culture we're creating more of a culture now as we grow up.
Okay.
So it's beautiful. We love that you're here. We love having you here.
Glad to be here.
I also want to give a big shout out to Magang, who is the founder and owner of By. Can you please help me with
Al-Kabulan.
By Al-Kabulan. Now, guys, I found out about this probably last year that they're
gibberish. African gibberish. So I like a cartoon called Family Guy. I really like all of them. I like The Simpsons, Family Guy, and South Park, right? So and I was cracking up. I was on the floor dying when this happened. I was on the floor crying. So one day, the main character, Peter, decides to grow a mustache. And for whatever reason, he thought that now that he has a mustache, that he speaks Italian because he's dim like that, but it's funny. So he walks into an Italian restaurant. He said, "Bippity boppity." And the dude was like, "What?" And then he started yelling at him in Italian, and Peter just kept saying, "Bippity boppity, bippity boppity, bippity boppity." That's what these fake Africans sound like. I bet you that's what they sound like to real Africans. They just like bippity boppity, bippity boppity. I was like, oh crap. That's what this fool reminds me of. He reminds me of that. He just took words that sounded African and spewed them out. Just like Peter took two words that sounded Italian and just spit it out at an Italian restaurant. Foolishness.
There is an African historical library here in Australia,
yes.
here in Melbourne, and it's in the western suburbs in Footscray. So please check it out.
I wish Ike was here. Or another African. So they could just decode how ridiculous this stuff looks.
I'm going to have all the links in the bios and the descriptions for you guys to donate, because it's an amazing initiative. It's something that we need.
It is, very much so.
So I wanted to get right into the topic with my topics today. I wanted to ask you, before we get into everything, if you can explain a little bit about Pan-Africanism.
Pan-Africanism can be summed up in three basic principles. Number one, all African people constitute a single human family. Whether you're in Ethiopia, Nigeria, South Africa,
Wasn't he the person that coined FBA?
You're in Australia, Jamaica, Brazil, whether you're in Texas, New York, Toronto, whether you're in Paris, UK, or Ireland, we are one people. No matter what our religion is, no matter what our nationality is, no matter what language we speak, whether your hair is nappy like mine or more fine like yours, we are still one family, and we should identify as African first. So it's not just enough to know you're African. You must prioritize your Africanity. So you're never a Christian who happens to be.
I don't know if she's African or not. Okay, just so y'all know, for those of you who don't know, Australia has an indigenous population of dark-skinned people called Aboriginals. This is just my opinion. Aboriginals are possibly the least attractive ethnicity of people that has ever existed in the history of humanity. Quite frankly, some of them don't look like they finished evolution. And they're dark-skinned. And she might be that. And they're not African. So just a heads up. I don't know what she is, to be honest. I just know that body, though.
An African, you're an African who happens to be a Christian. You're never a Muslim who happens to be an African. You're an African who happens to be a Muslim. And why? God made you African. Your family made you Christians.
What? Why? Are you Aboriginal? Okay, answer me this, since we're being touchy about it. If you're an Aboriginal man, are you seeking an Aboriginal woman? Or do you find yourself more physically attracted to each and every single other woman on the planet? And if you're an Aboriginal woman, the same thing goes in reverse.
People leave the church every day. People leave the masjid every day. People renounce their Australian citizenship every day. People renounce their American citizenship every day. You can never renounce being African. God made you black. Being black, being African is the most divine. It is the most sacred group membership you have, and we should prioritize it. That's principle one. Principle two, as Africa goes, so goes all African people. If we wonder why in Australia, we suffer racism. In America, we suffer racism. In the UK, where I was last week, we suffer racism. In Ireland, where I'll be in January, we suffer racism. Why? Because we have not built up Africa to be strong enough to look out for her scattered Black children wherever we may be in the world. The Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, the greatest Pan-Africanist of all, he said that a strong man is strong everywhere. So as I travel the world, as someone who's been almost just about everywhere, wherever I find Chinese, they're being respected. They're in a position of power.
Okay. This man is taking international trips and vacation, and that school's still not built. I'm just saying. You got money for international travel, huh? You got Ireland money, you got Australia money, you ain't got that school money though. Y'all don't think that's kind of weird?
Wherever I find South Asian Indians, they're being respected, they're in a position of power. Wherever I find Anglo-Saxons or European Jews, they're being respected, they're in a position of power. And wherever African people are, even in Africa, we are disrespected and seldom in positions of power. If we want to be strong, if we want to be respected, Africa has to be strong. Africa has to be respected.
Okay. I would challenge him with this, and she's not going to do that, I don't think, but I would challenge him with this. Africans who are not descendants of slaves are more respected here in the U.S. than African Americans who are. So make that make sense. When was the last time you heard of a police deletion involving a African who's like first, second, or third generation? Think about it.
None of us can do better than the continent we come from. Take care of the mother, and the mother will take care of her children. Principle number 3, self-determination. Everything that is to be done for African people must be done by African people. We build our organizations exclusively with Black people. We fund our organizations exclusively with Black money. We build our families exclusively with Black women and Black men. Everything must be all Black, everything. Self-determination. You don't see Jews begging Chinese to help them. You don't see.
Okay. Isn't he an advocate for reparations? Which is begging. You don't see them begging for handout. Well, but we do see you, specifically you, begging for them. Unless I'm mistaken, isn't he like a reparation beggar?
Indians begging Arabs to help them. You didn't see Anglo-Saxons begging Latinos to help them, and Black people.
But I see you begging for reparations.
African people got to stop begging other people to help us do what we need to learn how to do for ourselves.
Holy crap.
Self-determination breeds self-respect.
Can the two things coexist when you say religion and our race? So you know how you said,
absolutely.
Okay, so you know how you said you're Black first.
Yes.
Can you be both first?
You can't be both first, because
Why?
religion is an institution. Don't confuse religion with God. That's a big mistake people make.
Yeah.
Religion is an institution created by man to serve the needs of men. When the Arabs invaded North Africa and conquered our northern territory, they had no mandate from God to do that. When the Europeans took Christianity and used it to justify the transatlantic slave trade, they had no mandate from God to do that. So we have to recognize religion is an institution that is separate from the Almighty Creator. religion purports to be about helping you build a relationship with the Almighty Creator, but there's no greater mistake you can ever make than to confuse a man-made institution with the Almighty God. Religion is religion.
Yeah.
God is God.
Okay.
And the two can coexist because as Pan-Africanists, we believe in freedom of religion. Marcus Garvey was a Christian.
Yeah.
El Hajj Malik El Shabazz Malcolm X was a Muslim.
Yeah.
So we believe in freedom of religion. I have no issue with your religion unless your deity looks like your enemy. So if you run around with a white Christ, we got a problem because it's Pan.
I wonder how he feels about those. Well, I'm not even going to say it.
Africanists, we believe in self-determination. Jesus should look like me because I'm African. Not only should Jesus look like me because I'm African, Jesus was an African, and Jesus was born in a cave in Ethiopia. And it wasn't until the Nicene Council of 325 that Emperor Constantine changed that fact and said Jesus was born in a manger in Bethlehem. Prior to the Nicene Council of 325, the whole world knew that Jesus was a blue, black, purple African who was born in Ethiopia.
Where do these people find this stuff? Where do these people find this stuff? The Romans don't know where Julius Caesar was born, but they know that. Okay.
The knowledge. Okay, I wanted to talk about quickly before I jump into the bulk of this episode. I wanted to talk about self-determination because I went to your lecture on Saturday. And you spoke about how we shouldn't be taking money from the white man or these organizations, right? But I think a lot of the times we need to look at where we are positioned as Black people, as a community, and we don't really have the privileges. Especially, let's talk about Australia.
And that's how she got the interview. She showed up to his thing with that body and was like, "Would you like to do an interview with me?" Well, yes, I do. And here we are.
We haven't been here for as long as these other cultures have been here for. So we haven't established organizations or systems for ourselves right yet. So there are grants, there's funding, there's things that we need to accept to be able to build ourselves as a community. And I remember a woman asking you about that, and you said the opposite. So can you talk about why you think that's not, like, why we shouldn't be doing that? Yeah.
The hand that pays is the hand that rules. You can't show me any people in human history at any time, any color, on any continent who empowered themselves using the funding of the very government that oppresses and marginalizes them. It doesn't happen. Now, if you say, Dr. Umar, I'm getting funding from the Australian government to work with young girls, I'm not going to criticize that. I'm getting funding from the Australian government to reduce violence in our community. I'm not going to criticize that. I'm getting funding from an Australian business or bank or corporation to help the homeless women. I'm not going to criticize that. But if you say, I am a frontline Pan-Africanist organization that's fighting for freedom, justice, and equality for the Australian African, then it becomes a contradiction. You cannot be a frontline revolutionary or frontline activist group who's fighting for freedom, justice, and equality for all Australian Africans and take money from the government. That's a contradiction. But if you're only taking money to service a certain issue or challenge or concern in our community, I will be patient with you because you're serving a need that needs to be met. But then my bigger question would be, how long are you going to be on this financial umbilical cord to your oppressor until you get to the point where you can finance that program yourself? In other words, Queen, I can tolerate us getting the...
Yet you are pro reparations, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, because everything he's saying here is anti-reparation talk. But I could have swore that he was for reparations. So I'm trying to see if I could understand his thinking. Hit the like button.
The funding to some extent, especially our women, right?
Yeah.
But what is the exit date? What is the freedom date? What is the emancipation date? Can you tell me where and when are you projecting to cut off the funding from the Caucasian and start funding yourself?
Well, I think it's you can like I think if you take it for seed funding to build a business, like look, let's talk about this podcast and this studio. I think to build it and to grow a community at the beginning, it's necessary because we don't have the resources. And then after some time where you've built an established brand or you've built an like you've built something, you can then start to ask people you can then start to actually create a business that's like running on its own. Or having people that or have people want to donate towards the business or put money into it.
I can agree with your strategy, but when you say it's necessary,
yes, I think it's necessary.
I would push back to some extent. You know why? I'm willing to bet that Australian Africans, and I'm speaking collectively of everyone, from the Ethiopians to the South Sudanese and everyone in between, I'm sure they're buying Christmas gifts. I'm sure they're going to musical concerts. I'm sure they're going to nightclubs. I'm sure they're smoking marijuana and drinking. I'm sure they're buying Nikes and Christian Dior and Gucci and Louis Vuitton. I'm sure they're driving Mercedes and BMWs. So don't tell me it's necessary to take government funding, because if you have money to buy the things you want, you certainly have money to fund the things you need.
Okay. That's his way of saying, give me money. Instead of buying Mercedes, give money to me because I give you what you need. Just in arrears by like decades. So I guess she's an East African that found herself in Australia.
Facts. What if we're not doing both? I don't think there are people that are going clubbing. There can be people that are going clubbing there can be people that are not going clubbing and putting money towards their passion instead, but don't have enough funds to do that.
I'm sure.
Yes.
But I'm speaking as a community.
As a community.
Because we should act as a community.
And listen to this though. As a community, unfortunately, we're not seeing I feel like it takes us a while to see each other as credible. We don't put money into ourselves until we get to a certain point. We don't do that. I agree. So if it takes taking money from funding bodies to do that and to build and then going to the community, then that's what it takes.
But here's what I want you to see. I want you to recognize that in your argument, when you say necessary, it's not necessary. It's because we don't prioritize what we need to be doing that it becomes necessary. In other words, if the Australian African community wanted to fund itself, we could. We choose not to. And that's why you're getting the funding. So the funding from the government is a consequence of the fact that we're not prioritizing Black excellence. Yay.
I can agree to it.
Yay.
I can agree to it.
Yay.
What does that look?
Let's move on. Let's move on to the bulk of this topic, because I know we don't have that much time. I wanted to talk to you about Black love.
Yes.
I feel like there is a war between Black men and Black women. I think that a lot of the dilemmas that get sent in from my listeners talk about, it's about women talking about struggling to find a man, struggling to
find what kind of
man? Find a Black man.
Now, this is interesting. This is interesting that an East African immigrant to Australia is talking about this issue. This tells me one or two things. One, that the issue is throughout the diaspora. Or two, that people in the diaspora is heavily invested in the gender war, in the Black gender war, that's here in the U.S. Either way, it's interesting.
Man.
What kind of Black man?
What do you mean, what kind of Black man?
What kind of Black man? Struggling to find what kind of Black man?
Okay, let's talk about it.
Black men all in Australia.
No. We have.
So what kind of Black men are you struggling to find? Are you struggling to find a millionaire? Are you struggling to find somebody who's 6'3" with a six-pack stomach?
No.
Are you struggling to find someone who can finance a European expensive materialistic lifestyle?
No.
What kind of Black man are you struggling to find?
Let's talk about the culture in Australia versus the culture in America. I don't think it is quite different. different.
not.
It is.
No,
it
it's
is.
not.
It is. I think now we're
No, it's
being
not.
more influenced.
One of the
but I
biggest
think
mistakes that I find in the diaspora is we swear we're so randomly different. As probably the most traveled African in the Western Hemisphere, we're not that significantly different.
No, but we
There
are.
might be some new. No, we're not. No, we're not.
I don't think that I don't think black
we're not.
women. Okay, let's talk about it, because I'm getting dilemmas where women are talking about they're successful, they're in their careers, and they're.
She thinks that I and you all hit the like button are fools and thinking that she has any problem whatsoever finding what she's claiming that she's looking for. Oh no, we're looking for regular guys. That's crap. With a body like that, that is crap. You have no problem finding exactly what you want. I'll make it simple for you. Would you go out with Dr. Umar right now? He could make that real simple for you. If I was sitting there with Dr. Umar and she said, "Oh, I'm just looking for a regular guy that wants a black woman." My number is 777-9311. Call me, or you're full of shit. You're full of crap. You're full of sugar honey iced tea. 777-9311. Call me. Listen, if I created a Tinder profile using the picture of this still photo that you see on the screen, she would still get a bunch of hits. So we have to address the lie before anything. And the lie isn't lack of availability of generally qualified men. The problem may be the definition of qualified that she's working with.
Looking for a decent guy.
Decent guy is a very general thing. You're telling me that with that body, that decent, well, looking at that body, my thoughts aren't decent. Yeah, ha. You're telling me that you have problems finding a decent guy.
They're not asking for a man to earn triple the amount that he's
What is
earning.
decent? Give me 3 criteria for decent. I'm a psychologist. You must define the term. Give me 3 criteria for decent.
So he's emotionally intelligent.
That, once again, that's a very general thing. That is a very general thing. You want a guy to cry on your shoulder after watching Wicked? Like, come on now. That's retarded. And you know, right there, I know that she's full of crap. Because if a guy does cry on her shoulder during Wicked, you know, she's not going to break him off like Nia Long did Cuba Gooding Jr. on Baby Boy. Not Baby Boy, Boys in the Hood. You know, women do not act like that in real life, fellas. Sorry if that was part of your game, but try that and you'll quickly find out that they're not going to give you their V card after you start punching the air because a cop punched you. That's not how regular women of any race. That's just not how they get down.
Emotionally intelligent.
Okay.
Assuming she is as well.
Continue. He is a provider, so he's able to. Or he has a decent job. They are on the same.
What is a decent?
She's using that word decent.
Job. Define the term.
He makes an amount that is in the same tax bracket as the woman. Let's just say that.
And there's the onion. There's the onion. There is the onion. I got that term from a TV show called Rome. There's the onion right there. You see, There's nothing wrong with a woman looking for a guy that's in her same tax bracket. It's not. I mean, there may be a couple of things wrong, but it's not a terrible thing. The problem comes when they wait until they are at their optimal tax bracket. And they do not get to their optimal tax bracket until maybe like mid 30s. But even when they are in their optimal tax bracket, they still feel that if they wait a few more years, it'll be higher. Listen, if it were as simple as finding a guy who is in my tax bracket or greater, I think each and every single guy here would have complete and total access to every Hooters waitress that exists. We would have complete and total access to every Denny's waitress that exists. We would have complete and total access. Oh, crap. Y'all remember that Home Depot girl? Y'all remember that Home Depot girl, right? So yeah, see how come every guy don't have like a Home Depot girl? Well, the truth of the matter is, by that logic, it would be in a woman's best interest to wait till she gets into her own highest tax bracket. And she don't know what her potential is. No one does. She may think like, oh yes, once I start making $1 million a year, I'm going to start looking for guys that make $1 million a year. And that's why they wind up like Vivica Fox. Now, I doubt Umar makes that particular point because I'm smarter than him. But we'll see. We'll see what he makes.
Okay.
Same tax bracket.
Okay.
Emotionally
Financial
intelligent.
equity.
Yes.
Okay.
I would just say he's a provider. He's nurturing, and he cares to build a family with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why would he be a provider if he's in your same financial tax bracket?
And the question?
And the question is, women are struggling to find men that they can date.
Okay. Couple things. Number one, Black women cannot.
First of all, that's not a question. That's not a question. That's a statement. He said, and the question is, Black women still can't find men to date. That's not a question. So apparently it's a them problem too. Apparently everywhere you go, Black women have the same damn problem. Okay, down what Droopy D says, so she could save for the divorce. Now, I'm going to talk about that for a second. Because people's tax bracket change. People's tax bracket change. So you marry under one tax bracket. And yeah, if for whatever reason, whether she gets a promotion, or he gets a demotion, or something just happens to the industry. Intel just laid off I think it was like 1,500 or 15,000 people. And then that's when the divorce papers come. And it's got to come quick so they could get alimony and child support based on how much he was making while he was working there. So the divorce is going to come quickly. Because if they wait to the end of this year, then it'll go off of this year's income. So yeah, it's going to come quickly. And it's like, I just want to find a guy that's in my tax bracket and continuously maintain a superior tax bracket to me into the rest of our lives, while knowing that I am working hard to try to exceed his tax bracket. This is ridiculous.
The term.
He makes an amount that is in the same tax bracket as the woman. Let's just say that. The
Okay.
same tax bracket.
Okay.
Emotionally
Financial
intelligent.
equity.
Yes.
Okay.
I would just say he's a provider, he's nurturing, and he cares to build a family with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the question?
And the question is, women are struggling to find men that they can date.
Okay.
That's not a question.
Couple things. Number one, Black women cannot, shall not, should not expect a Black man to be able to provide them with the same type of a lifestyle that a Caucasian can provide for the white female.
Now, that's saying a lot. I was about to pause it and say that is the stupidest thing Dr. Umar has ever said, but he said some pretty stupid things. So I'm not going to give this that label. Hit the like button. I'm not going to give this that label of the stupidest thing he's ever said, but it is a stupid thing to say. But furthermore, it's really indicative of why this pro-Black community exists. Blackity, black, black, blackity, black, black, blackity, black, black, black. Why that community exists. And why you have people, because like I said in a previous video, most of the man-hating swirler divester women come from the pro-Black camp. And the reason is because both sides are trying to get over on each other. Listen, any pro-Black organization here in the US consists of two types of people. Men who don't want to have to economically compete with other races of men for Black women, and women who don't want to have to compete on a femininity / they don't want to have to compete with women on the basis of womanhood, meaning that they don't want to have to out real hair white women. They don't want to have to out submissive Asian women. They don't want to have to out Latin women. So you just got two genders of people that don't want to compete. That was his way of saying, please don't make me compete with white men. And I'm pretty sure he's well off because, he's misappropriating the funds that people give him to build a school forever. So I'm pretty sure he's well off. However, the rank and file Black man, who signs up for this whole pro-Blackness. I mean, some of them do it for the spirit of what it is. But the vast majority of them do that, to look for mates that they don't have to compete with other groups of men for. And they really don't want to have to compete with other individual men within the group. So like if somebody like Theo Waff was to walk into the pro-Black, situation, he was to walk into the camp, he'll be met with ridicule because, he's big about that wallet. Salute to him. So yeah, they don't want to have to compete on the basis of income. That's really what it's about. And he just proved it.
Because the Caucasian benefits from white privilege, the Black man suffers from white racism. So we should not be, no sister should be looking for a European equivalent or an African equivalent of a European. A Black man has to work twice as hard to get half as much. So although I can appreciate the financial equity, but if you are a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer as an African woman in Australia or America or the UK or Toronto or Johannesburg, looking for a Black man who has financial equity with your type of career success.
A woman should not wait until she become a doctor. I mean, an engineer is different, but you should not wait until you become a doctor to start looking for a man. It takes the lion's share of your 20s to be a doctor, at least here in the US. I remember I was in the Dominican and I met this bad dentist. So she claims to be a dentist. And I asked how old was she? She said 25. But she went to school in England where it's like 3 years. And she graduated high school early. I don't know. I don't know how she became a dentist at 25, but I do know that she was bad. You shouldn't be waiting until after you become a doctor.
That's going to be difficult. You might got to tone it down a little bit. What I find as a therapist who works with couples, married, divorced, and otherwise, too often Black women prioritize a man's income over his masculinity, meaning he can provide. He's willing to help with those children. He will nurture you, look out for you, but he might not be able to put you in a Mercedes. He might not be able to help you with that $1 million mortgage.
Since when is helping with children a masculine thing? When I think of a babysitter, I don't think of something masculine. What he's describing is a female helpmate. Listen at this again.
Black women prioritize a man's income over his masculinity, meaning he can provide. He's willing to help with those children. He will nurture you, look out for you, but he might not be able to put you in a Mercedes.
Yeah. Those were not, traditionally speaking, masculine traits. Anyway.
Might not be able to help you with that $1 million mortgage. And I've seen Black women turn down good men, very good men, because he didn't have the economics, but he had everything else. Sisters need to be careful not to fall into this European narrative of judging men primarily by how much they make.
I can agree with that. I think that these are two extreme scenarios here, because I think if a man we're talking about financial equity, if he is making enough to build a household with you, to be a leader in the household, I think women are okay with that. I think that's not what they're getting. I think they're getting the other end of the spectrum. That's what we're hearing. You know what I mean?
Would you have a problem?
Okay, so I doubt that they have the same. I doubt that any immigrant group of people have the same problems that we have here in the United States or in the West in general, as far as first of all, I don't think that the problem exists like that here. There are a number of Black women who choose to take government provisions, and we're going to get into that, who choose to take government provisions and parcel it out to their mate. Like, oh, I'm taking care of you, but really I'm taking care. And when I say I'm talking about me as a taxpayer, me as a net taxpayer is taking care of you so you can take care of someone else. You know, that's my money that's buying those food stamps that you're using to, well, we get the point. I think that that's a uniquely American thing that she probably don't experience. But she's hearing the cries from across the ocean of Black American women and not knowing how inaccurate it is.
If you met a man who made half of what you made or a third of what you made, but he had a financial vision of an empire, a business, some sort of
Nope. I'm telling you, this is that Hotep talk. This is that pro-Black Hotep talk. He's Hotepping. Footstepping. Hotepping. This is that Hotep talk. This is that talk where a man walks up to a woman saying, I make a third of what you make. And I'm not talking about he's walking up to like Megan Good and he's Jonathan Majors. No, I'm talking about he's you know, like if a person makes $6 million a year and you make $2 million a year, at a certain point you don't care. But if she's making $60K and you're making $20K, but I got a business sense. He got that envision, baby. Look at his eyes. This week he's mopping floors. Next week is the fries. I do have a problem with that. And I also have a problem with what Black men and Black people call business sense. That is bullshit. Or excuse me, bullshit. That is bullshit. It is. And that's why the Hotep community is full of guys selling incense and beads, like the bracelets he have. That's why it's full of crap like that. Because it's being sold to you by broke men with business sense. That and the t-shirts. Like it's all full of crap. It's literally full of crap. Beads and stuff like that is crap. And you're telling women to latch on to a guy like that. He has business sense. What, does he have an MBA? No, but he has business sense. What does that mean? He has the same business sense as a 10-year-old with a lemonade stand. What, you're hoping that he's going to expand his bead empire? And he's probably actually saying that. He's like, yeah, well, once my bead empire takes off, then you're going to regret. Holy crap. I'm not saying don't look for potential, but you have to filter out good potential versus bad potential. A young man in his last year of medical school is probably good potential. A college basketball phenomenon, who is destined to be a draft pick, that's probably good potential. Or that's almost definitely good potential, provided that he doesn't injure himself. The bead salesman with business sense, that does not seem like... Wow. I mean, he's better off with he's better off with a work ethic. He really is. He's better off with a work ethic.
An entrepreneurial undertaking.
See, I think that's dangerous.
Stay with me.
I think that's dangerous.
Let me finish it, and then I want you to respond. And he needed you to help invest in his dream. And he gave you a definitive timeline. He said, give me 12 months or 24, no more than that. If you invest in me, I promise you what I'm going to build will equal where you are. Would you have a problem investing in him?
Well, you definitely should. Nigga, what? I hope he's not talking about financial investment. Listen, so it was around 2018. I remember this. When I was talking to she wasn't a bank teller, but those people that sit outside the bank, like the people that you talk to if you want like a loan or something. I was talking to one of them because I lost my card and I had to talk to her to get a temporary card. And she was a nice looking mystery meat type chick, and a younger one. And while we was waiting for her to activate my temporary card, she was telling me, I was like, so what's your plans this weekend? She said, well, my boyfriend's going to take me out to breakfast, but I won't be out there that long because, he's studying for his finals. He's an engineering major or whatnot. So he has a lot of studying to do this weekend. I was like, all right, well, you won't be, yeah, loan officer. Thank you. So loan officers also, they're who you talk to. Like if you go to the teller and say, hey, I lost my card. Can you give me a temporary card? They'll send you to a loan officer. So that's what I was talking to her. And she told me that he was studying for finals, blah, blah, blah. But he was going to take time out to take her to breakfast. I was like, well, if you don't mind me saying, I got a suggestion, something that'll help you get that ring faster, right? She was like, what? I said, you should make him breakfast. Understand that, that he's studying for finals this weekend, so he's going to need every minute that he can get. If you make him breakfast, it might be the difference between getting a B or an A on these midterms, or on these finals. And he'll remember that. So if you make him breakfast, you'll save him a lot of time. Now, that would be an investment. That would be an investment of her time into his career that would later mature. And once again, it's far greater potential than he has far greater potential than a person with a business sense. He's probably an engineer now. So that is how that's a better investment to a woman. Like, and that's anything. Like if a guy's in med school, you want to cut down the time that he is spending cooking, cleaning, washing clothes and stuff like that, because that time goes into studying, which could be the difference between passing the MCATs or failing the MCATs. Like, you know, but Hotep dudes, they want that money. They want that money. It's like they're both very flawed people, both the men and the women in that community. I want you to give me money to invest in my juju bead empire. To invest in my, and then I guarantee, nothing is guaranteed. Even the engineer can't guarantee that. He can't guarantee that the job market will support his skill set by the time that he graduates. That's just talk. That's what they call game.
What does investing in him mean?
Let's say he needed $700 a month.
Holy crap.
To help fuel this dream.
They be on some gigolo stuff. And are we learning? Are we learning? Once again, Chrissy, Sinji, you know, and so many others. I don't know all the divestors, but so many of these divestors left the pro-Black community. And it's because of crap like this. It's because dudes was saying, hey, let me get $700 a month because I have a dream. Like, all right, well, why don't you find a VC and see that dream happen? The reason why you can't find a VC, and, you know, when the economy is good, interest rates are high now, but when the economy is good, VCs pretty much fund anything. There's a lot of stupid ideas that gets capital, but they're not gonna fund your juju beads. They're not gonna fund your crap, and you know it. So that's why you exchange in penis for $700 a month. Holy crap! So, and that's where these Chrissies is coming from, because they spent years of their lives, you know, chasing penis and promise. Now they're doing it for their own nefarious reasons as well, but I mean, let's be clear. Like, we know what you're up to. This is annoying. This man said, "Break me off $700." Not like what I suggested to the loan officer. I'm assuming that loan officer is a decent job for someone her age. She probably would have been promoted from teller. So, you know, I'm assuming something like that. So, but I mean, her dude wasn't asked for, at least as far as I know, he wasn't saying, give me $700 a month, because he was taking her to breakfast. Like, what kind of crap is this? And I don't know what nationality her dude, or what ethnicity her dude was, but I do know that when faced with the dilemma of a dude saying, give me $700 a month to be with me versus I'll take you out to breakfast even though I got to study for midterm, what do you think they're gonna pick? Jesus, these guys are dense.
He needed $700 for 24 months. Could you do it? You're reluctant.
I am reluctant because what's the What's the guarantee?
There is no guarantees in love. There is no guarantees in romance.
And
If
also,
you need a guarantee,
I think context matters. How long have we been together?
I agree.
You know, if it's just a guy that I met last year and all of a sudden he has these dreams and he wants me to fund it.
Y'all been dating for about 2 years. You like him. There might even be some love there. And he's saying
there might be some love there is crazy. There has to be some love there.
Let's say there
has to be a future there. And I think that's what I'm saying. Context matters. If I see myself with this man.
But you didn't answer the question. Let's say all those things are there. Will you financially invest in him? Be honest, my queen.
Holy crap.
They already answered for you. They said hell to the nizzo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nor should they. That's just ridiculous. Listen, if a woman makes $600K and you make $200K, that's one thing. You know, I mean, Megan Good invested in Jonathan Majors, and salute to them. You know, like, I'm sure that investment will pay off. He's a very talented brother. In my opinion, more so than her. And this is not shade. He's just his life experience shapes his acting, and you were a child actress, which limits your life experience, but you're still very beautiful and you're still very good at what you do. So, and I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying that, you know, and I think you know this. I think you see that in him as well. But she wasn't investing money, at least not that I know of. She was investing like time and support and all that stuff, you know, and really just having her be there, you know, improves his image to the jury and to everybody else. So yeah, that's what she's investing. This dude didn't say, give me $700 a month allowance. What kind of crap is that? Like, if anything, it's like, hey, listen, if you could take care of some of these household responsibilities, I'll use the extra time to drive Uber, you know, to drive Lyft or DoorDash or something like that until I get $700 a month. I don't know how much you get from doing that for a couple hours a day, but actually, yeah, even if you get like $10 an hour and you work 70 hours a month, that's like what, 2 hours and some change a day. Yeah. But come on now, really?
Look.
Why not, though? Why do you have a problem with that? Given the atmosphere of racism and economic oppression that black men suffer in Australia, why would you have a problem investing in your king? But what are black men subject
to that women are not? We're going through the same thing.
Okay. You're not. I don't know what it's like in Australia, but it is different because women have forced access to men's money, whether it's through welfare, whether it's through child support, whether it's through blah, 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 blah. They have forced access to a man's money, meaning that somebody is giving them $700 a month, even if they have a sugar daddy. Somebody is giving them $700 a month. So like that equivalence, that statement of equivalence saying that it's the same is why he's behaving that way. Because that's why Dr. Umar is behaving that way. Because what Dr. Umar has asked himself, because he sees all things as being the same, is what would a woman do in this situation? Is essentially what he's asking. What would a woman do in this situation? And what a woman would do is she would find a man to fund her lifestyle, give her an allowance until she gets where she needs to be. That's really what he's doing. Like, you can't equate the two.
True, but it operates differently. The racism against black men is significantly more aggressive than the racism against black women. Now, I don't want to get into an oppression Olympics because I agree with you. We all suffer and we suffer together. But a man's primary responsibility is to be a provider. And we don't feel adequate as men when we can.
Well, if your primary responsibility is to be a provider, why are you asking for $700? I mean, what the hell? If your primary responsibility is to be the provider, why are you asking for $700? Yeah, exactly, Droopy D. He does sound crazy. I mean, they really need to listen to themselves.
Can't provide. So your king, who you love, who you've been dating for 2 or 3 years, is saying, baby, invest in me.
And the cold part is that he has all the pieces. He just don't put them together in his head. He just hasn't put them together in his head yet. Because he said earlier, the person who is giving you money owns you. The person who's giving you money owns you. Can I have $700 a month? You do realize that you just gave her ownership. You do realize that you just gave her ownership of yourself. Wondering why crap isn't working out. Just email me. If you got content, email me.
For these 18 to 24 months, and I promise you I will cross that finish line. You're still reluctant.
I'm reluctant.
Why?
I'm reluctant. As my husband, if we were married and something like that happened, of course, I would be open to doing that.
But would you be open to even marrying him if he was not the provider you needed him to be? He's saying, help me level up so I can become the person you want to marry. He's asking you to help him level up.
I think.
Let me tell you why you're reluctant. And I don't have a problem with your reluctance, but I want to explain something.
Okay.
And I want all my young sisters to hear me. A big difference between the snow bunny and the African queen is the snow bunny will find a black man in progress. She will find him on the job. She will find him on the university. And that snow bunny will see a black man with potential, and she will invest in him. She will help him level up. And then when the sisters see him 5 years ago, 5 years later, he's
okay. She has a more sophisticated, the snow bunny that he's referring to has a more sophisticated process, vetting process. Because the black woman in the scenario that you were talking about, you just said the guy had business sense. But yes, meeting a guy on the job or at university, there's greater potential there than a guy with business sense. And I noticed I went to university, and yeah, I have spent some white girls' daddy's money. You know, I think many guys have, but there's a lot more potential scouted, like on her job. If they work in the same job, why is she giving him $700? I don't know. It's weird, but he's just talking about regular, like, I have business sense type guys. That's ridiculous. Like the movie Acrimony, where dude was building like a standalone battery. That is a good investment, especially since he was demonstrating, what he was doing, and he showed his aptitude in college where she met him. Like, that would be a good investment until it went bad. A bad investment is, I got business sense. Like, oh, really? So tell me about your business plan. Well, I'm going to take old refrigerators, wash them, and sell them at a premium. It's like, holy crap.
A millionaire, and the sister say, look at that sellout. He went and got a white girl. But guess what? When he was looking for a sister to help him level up, to invest in him, none of them wanted it. You know why? Too many black women want a finished product. Black women have to, stay with me. Black women have to stop expecting men to be a finished product. It's harder on us. Help him level up.
What?
Okay. They're both like on complete opposite end of the spectrum. She's being disingenuous when she says she disagrees. I mean, just the fact that you want a guy in your tax bracket, but you didn't find a guy when your tax bracket was low, means that you're waiting for a finished product. First of all, it means that you're waiting until you are a economically finished product, which is a bad idea for a woman. You're waiting until you are an economically finished product. And then you want him to be economically finished as well. That is a bad strategy. And he's talking about the opposite end, like give me $700. The fact that he had an amount in his head really says something. Look at him looking crazy now. Like he had that amount in his head. He had that in his head, locked and loaded.
Stay with me. Help him level up and become what you need him to be. Because the big reason why these snow bunnies are running off with black men is they're meeting them when they have nothing, but they believe in their vision. And black women are waiting for him to cross the finish line. And by the time he crosses the finish line, the snow bunny done snatched him already.
I disagree. And I think that I'm basing it on case studies. I've seen, I know black women. I'm friends with black women. You know, when I see the dating issues that happen, sorry, the mic.
No, we good. Go ahead. We good.
It's never that. It's never that they don't want to invest. It's actually the opposite. Black women are willing to be in relationships with men that are still leveling up, that are still working their way up. And then
yet you were reluctant. So why are they different from you?
Well, maybe because I've been through that and now I'm not trying to do that right now. Do you know what I mean? I've been through a relationship where I have supported someone and it went really badly for me. You know what I mean? So
okay. There's a caveat that he's missing here. There's a caveat that he's missing. And that is that they're both missing. And that's something that she don't want to flesh out. And that is the looks factor. Not only do you have to invest in a guy, you want to be prettier than he is handsome. And that's on every level. If you are not prettier than he is handsome, he's going to leave you the moment he gets on. And maybe that's why I was making that suggestion when I was talking about when I was talking to that loan officer at the bank. Because I didn't see her guy, but I was assuming that, you know, because she was, like I said, she was very pretty. So I'm assuming that she was prettier than he was handsome. This is like, first of all, you want to be prettier than he is. If you're not, or at least within reasonable range, then it's a non-starter. It's a non-starter. So yes, if you supported a guy who was far more handsome than you are pretty, then yes, once he is handsome with money, he is going to leave you. But if you are prettier than he is handsome, then supporting him prior to the funds is going to get you. Okay, take Steph and Ayesha Curry, right? Ayesha Curry was prettier than Steph is handsome. I know this because my cousin told me. She said that she follows basketball, and she said that he was like a, you know, funny looking string bean dude in high school when they met up. And she was a model and stuff. So she was prettier than he was handsome, and she invested. And that's how she got all the goods. I mean, you know, you can't take like a woman like Gabrielle Sidibe, put her with Steph Curry and think he gonna stay after it's done. So that's the added caveat that white women, what do you mean not true? Explain yourself, Triple. Anyway, while he does that, that's another advantage that white women have. That in conjunction with the spotting the potential and investing in that potential. Beauty is something else that you invest. You see, people like Dr. Umar, they want that $700. No, I don't want that. I want you to invest your beauty. I want you to invest your most beautiful, fertile years into me.
for me now, I don't need to coddle a man and be there. And I've worked my way up the
Investing in a
same
man
way.
is not coddling.
I don't think you need to invest. I don't think it's necessary in that way.
Because
Why is
you have
why is it only?
Eurocentric
But why is it only
expectations.
financial investment?
Say that
Why
again.
is it only financial
Well,
investment?
no, that's what he's asking for, because at the end of the day, you just said yourself, financial equity is a major concern for women. So it has to be financial equity or investment, because that's what a lot of women are looking for from their men. Y'all want economic parity. And
Okay, good point. Triple X brings up a very good point. Look at Amari Hardwick's wife. That doesn't always work out. He is a particularly honorable dude. That doesn't always work out like that. Yeah, like that. And I don't know what their situation was when they both were in college. You know, like maybe he discovered push-ups like his senior year or something like that, and then his acting career took off. You know, maybe he discovered push-ups, and maybe she, just aged like white women age. And then it just caused that difference. Who knows? But typically speaking, like what's that soap opera dude name that was with the fat chick, and the moment he got on, like that's generally how it goes, because the whole point of making it is to be with a beautiful woman. Jesse Williams, yeah.
I don't have a problem with y'all wanting economic parity. I'm simply saying, with the obstacles facing black men in Australia, the US, or any other white society, it comes with a lot of obstacles for us to get there. And it's unrealistic to expect me to be where you are when you are not considered the threat that I am.
Sorry,
She thinks he's crazy.
I need to process this, because I think
that's why she needs to process this, because he's talking lunacy, and he looks insane while doing it. Listen, whoever she's talking about, when she said that it happened to her, I doubt that it was a guy that looked like Dr. Umar Johnson. I doubt it was a guy that looked like Boyce Watkins. I'm willing to bet that he was more handsome than she is pretty.
Take a deep breath.
And also, actors is like a far greater investment. It's greater risk on the woman's part. Like the examples I have, it's like little risk. Like, if you're in medical school, then that's little risk. If you are a top college level NBA pick, that is less risk. There's a lot less risk. Actors, handsome or otherwise, is an extraordinary risk that you will be stuck with the nigga that's waiting tables. So, greater risk, greater reward.
Yeah.
King Kong is here.
I don't know. I disagree. I just think that black women are willing to hold it down for the man. I feel like we're always there supporting them. And I think that, if anything, black women get the short end of the stick. We don't
A lot of times y'all do.
We do. So
And
how
I'll
are
give
you?
three
But y'all get the long end of the dick. Yeah. Ha.
short sticks that y'all tend to get. Number one, black men need to stop telling y'all they're monogamous if they're polygynous. Too many black women are being manipulated into plural relationships that they didn't sign up with because of disingenuous men. Okay, I'm going to have 2 wives. Dr. Umar going to have 2 queens. If you don't like it, don't flirt with me. Leave it there. But I'm going to have 2. I'm going to be honest, right? Men have to stop manipulating women who looking for monogamy into polygamy. It's not right. You got a wife over here. You got a baby mama over here. You should have been honest up front. That's number one. Number two, black men have to stop holding women on an emotional leash, giving her the belief that you may one day commit, knowing damn well you don't want her. Let her go, but you won't let her go because your ego can't stand to see something you throw away get picked out the trash by another man and turned into a jewel. We are wasting too much of y'all time by dragging y'all along emotionally, and that's not good because black women have a biological clock. Y'all have a tick-tock on how long y'all can have babies, and because of that, we shouldn't be wasting time with y'all. If we're not serious, we should let y'all go.
And
number three,
let me add to that.
We got to stop putting our hands on our women. Too much domestic abuse, too much domestic violence. Too many Black children are watching their mothers get abused by their fathers, and it's creating intergenerational trauma.
Okay, he's perpetuating a negative stereotype. He's perpetuating a negative stereotype once again to virtue signal. I'm going to just leave it there.
So yes, there's a lot we need to do better for y'all. And I'm here to apologize to all my sisters in Australia for any Black man that has done you wrong, because we need to level up in ways other than money.
Oh my gosh. Nigga, don't apologize on somebody else's behalf. Why you gotta apologize for something the next man may or may not have done just because you say that he may or may not have done? Actually, I am going to do that. I'm going to apologize for something another nigga did. Black women, I'm sorry that I told you to give a nigga $700 a month and then he left. I apologize for that. Yeah. I apologize that I told you to invest in a school that will never get built. I apologize for the nigga that did that.
That money can't fix for us. So I'm with you, Queen.
Absolutely.
We need to become better men, but we need y'all to be a little bit more sensitive to the economic challenges that Black men face. Me, I don't have that issue. I got 6 degrees. I got my doctorate. I'm the most popular Pan-Africanist in the world. I'm good. But a lot of my brothers ain't where I'm at. You understand? And I need my women to understand that not every Black man is going to be where Dr. Umar is. And it ain't because he was lazy. And it's not because he was intelligent. I had my father in my home. You understand? Crap. And because of that, the white power structure dealt with me differently because my father was there. I saw how I was given programs other Black boys were not given because their father were not there.
You just said we shouldn't be taking stuff from Black people or from other groups of people. But you say you are the man you are today because of the way white people treated you. Can't make this shit up.
Children I went to elementary and middle school with, they in prison, they in the cemetery, not because they was less intelligent than me, but because my father was there, they dealt with me differently. So I wasn't better than them. I was given opportunities they were not given.
Yeah, let's talk about how we can create you, because I know that we're talking about the divide. We're talking about Black women, Black men, why they don't get along, why they're not coming together. How can we start to create an understanding between the two of us?
Number one.
Yeah.
Too often when we get into relationships, we're looking for an emotional slave and a psychological cheerleader. We're not looking for a partner. Too often I see women who are looking for...
Well, you're looking for a financial slave.
Men who will just obey and do as I say. I see men who are looking for women who will just obey and do as I say.
You damn right.
Are you really looking for a partnership?
No, I'm not. Looking for a partnership? It's a dictatorship. I got the dick, you get me taters and shit. And I don't need your $700 a month.
Or are you looking for a cheerleader or a slave? Too many relationships are not partnerships. They are dictatorships of the more powerful partner over the less powerful partner. That's one. Number two, we need to stop getting into relationships when we have unmet psychological needs from our childhood that we have not addressed. Too many women are dealing with the abandonment of their fathers. You cannot put it on a man to heal the emotional wounds that your father caused. Too many men are looking for women to heal the emotional needs caused by their mother's abandonment. Deal with the trust issues from your parents. Deal with...
What do you mean the mother's abandonment? He's just saying stuff now. Exactly, Carmen. He sounds crazy. He's just saying stuff.
The abandonment issues from your parents. Deal with the lack of ability issues from your parents. It is not your partner's job to heal you psychologically. And so what we often end up doing is getting into relationships.
Okay, it's buffering. Let me read some comments. Well, I mean, when he says the mother abandons the son, they don't abandon the son until he's 18 and she stopped getting a government check. Like, that's when they abandon the son. On his 18th birthday and she stopped getting that government check. It's like, yeah, son, you gotta go. You gotta get a job. You know, that's when he's just left to find his way in the world. Even if he's in high school. Because some kids turn 18 when they're in high school. They're like, hey, look, you gotta go. You gotta have EBT if you want to live with me. So that's it. That's all. But they don't abandon them. Like, you know, when do you see like black babies at fire stations and stuff like that? You know, no, they see it as an opportunity to get a check.
With emotionally unavailable people. And the reason they're emotionally unavailable is they're too consumed with their own issues that they should have dealt with before I came into your life. You see that?
Yeah.
We got to do a better job of screening people, because in Australia, you got emotional vampires, unhealthy women who look healthy, unhealthy men.
I agree with that.
You understand?
I agree
who
with
look
that.
healthy
And jump into relationships too quickly. Like, we'll leave one and then we'll go into another before we heal. I do agree with that. And I do think that there's a lack of understanding from.
No. Heal faster, bitch. Okay. The thing about her is, by the way, once again, that body though, is she's falling for a lot of the black woman's stupidity that you know keeps them single until that body is gone. That is the worst thing you can do. That is the worst thing you can do. Is to say, I'm waiting to heal from a last relationship before I get into a new one. Listen, if you are getting out of a relationship, that means that you've wasted time. However many months, days, years you've been in that relationship was a waste. You invested however many X number of months, days, years in that relationship, and that investment didn't work out. The longer you wait, the more time you are investing into the previous relationship. So say, you know, you spent the time between, you know, 23 and 25 in a relationship, and at 25 you break up. Do you wait until you're 27 to start looking again? Because that's 4 years. Like, you're encouraging time wasting in that. Like, what if a man was to say that? What if your man was to say that? What if your man was to say, I lost my job and I'm going to need time to process me losing this job. So it's going to be a couple of years before I find another one, because I'm still processing the loss of the last job. That's stupid. And Dr. Umar isn't smart enough to check such stupidity. Time is precious.
Both sides, and all we're doing is everybody's just very loud.
Yes.
But I think that if there was some sort of there are so many points I wanted to go into with what you were saying, but I just feel like we can meet at a middle ground.
I agree.
It's just I agree. There's just a lot of noise.
And I don't think we study each other's values
I don't think so.
enough.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. We meet hypothetically, right?
Mm-hmm.
We meet. You're a psychologist, I'm a psychologist. You're a Pan-Africanist, I'm a Pan-Africanist. You're a Leo, I'm a Leo. But guess what? You believe in
He shouldn't have shot. I mean, I don't blame him. I tear shit up, but he shouldn't have shot right now. Nigga's shameless.
saving money. I believe in spending it. Guess what? I want to have a big family. You don't plan on having no kids. Guess what? I have a close relationship with my mother. I spend every Sunday with her. You can't stand your mother. I want to save for retirement. you believe in spending all your money. You see that on the surface, we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
everything in common.
Yeah.
But when you
we
go
deep,
beneath and look at the values, it's completely different.
Yeah.
We have to start studying our potential mates' values. And the other thing that we also need to do is we need to slow down on the sex. Women in particular.
Oh my God.
One of the
This nigga's retarded. I'm going to pause for a second. Here, I'm just going to stop screen sharing off of that foolishness. Yeah, I gotta like move away. This dude is talking full retarded now. He just went full retarded there. Okay. I had to get my bearings to break down such stupid. In a conversation about why Black women are losing the competition for choice Black men, he actually said you need to cut down on the sex. Yeah, that'll win him over. That'll win him over. So, according to him, white women come with vagina and $700 a month. You come with empty pockets and empty pussy. Coming with an empty purse and an empty pussy, talking about how come I'm not getting a choice man. You're stupid. Umar, you're stupid. I'm having trouble finding a man. Well, maybe you should cut down on sex. What the? It's just stupidity. We need to cut down on sex. Non-sexual women are not going to compete. Non-sexual, non-virgin women are not going to compete in a sexual marketplace. They're not. And I know the theories, and but Dr. Umar not waiting either. I know the theories that the guys will just want you more because they can't have it. Like we are so stupid that we just work on a basic instinct of wanting what we can't have. If Oprah came up to me and said, "You can't have me, game changer," I'm not going to say, "Oh, I want you now." Fuck that. I don't want what I can't have. I want what I want. And sometimes I can have it and sometimes I can't. Like I want Chloe Bailey. And I don't want her because I can't have her. I want her because she's fucking hot. What the fuck? And I hate to say it, but for some Black women, that's all you got. And I mean that from the bottom of my penis. That's all you fucking got. And this coming from a guy, because I have dated, I do date, and I could tell you, for many of you, there's nothing there. There is nothing there. And I realized that like on the first date, sometimes even when I speak to you for a bit, I mean, it's like, okay, this isn't going to go anywhere, but I still want to fuck. And that's what it is. That's all you got. Without that, listen. I'm going to be clear. The day y'all stop fucking collectively is the day I pretend to speak another language every time I see your ass. I will not pay any attention to you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if there was a short. There was a short that this is exactly how I am going to treat your ass. The day that y'all stop sucking my dick. Let me see if I can find this short here. History. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. But yeah, this is just that foolishness. This is, I don't know what they think they're doing with this. You know, like we shouldn't be having sex, but you should be giving me $700. It's all type of tomfoolery. Shout out to Cooley for not dealing with such foolishness. And now he's catching flack for not dealing with it. Damn. I'm going to try one more day. No, it's like a couple of days ago that I seen this. Because she invested in him the right way. I doubt that she gave him $700 like cash in hand. But, you know, she supported where he was going and he got there. And she also seen the potential in him. Because they are effective at scouting potential. Perhaps there's a learning opportunity there. Dang, it's not here either. All right, I'm one more day and then it's done. But this is one of those shorts that's just like perfect for what I was talking about right now. Hold on. Oh no, that's not it. That's perfect for what I was talking about right now. Okay, I'm not gonna find it, but it was a short that where these cops, where a brother was on an airplane, and these cops were like deep into his face, telling him to put his seatbelt on, like put your seatbelt on, put your seatbelt on, and he was just there like with a plain look on his face, like he was just ignoring them completely. And it was a white dude cop, and it was a white female cop, and she was like clapping in his ear, like put your seatbelt on, you know, and the everybody was yelling, you know, kick him off the plane. Everybody was, and he just was standing there, you know, silently. And even though the cop was in his face, he was just looking straight forward, just like he was ignoring him. And then it got to the point where he started to cover his ears. And they just took that as disrespect. Before, the cops was trying to be decent with him, but they took that part as disrespect. So they just like, okay, it's no more. You know, he's not gonna ignore me and disrespect me like this. So, you know, I'm gonna grab him and take him off the plane. So they grabbed him, they hemmed him up a bit, just to find out that the dude was blind. The moment Black women stop fucking me, it will be like that. It will be complete ignoring. I will be blind. You could be in my face with a police uniform on. I will completely ignore the fuck out of you at that point. That is ridiculous. All right, back to the feature at hand.
Things I don't like about African women today is they're trying to operate like males. You don't care. You just had sex with me. I don't care.
Well, if you don't like that they're trying to operate like males, then you shouldn't ask them to be your sugar mama or your sugar daddy.
For retirement, you believe in spending all your money. You see that on the surface, we got everything in common. But when you go beneath and look at the values, it's completely different. We have to start studying our potential mates' values. And the other thing that we also need to do is we need to slow down on the sex. Women in particular. One of the things I don't like about African women today is they're trying to operate like males. You don't care. You just had sex with me. I don't care. I'm going to have sex with you. But there's a big difference there. Women are internal. Whoever y'all lay with, y'all pick up our spiritual DNA. I don't care if he's wearing a condom or not. A piece of me is in you forever. There's been research that shows sex changes your DNA. Holy crap. I'm in you, I'm literally in you for the rest of your life. And women have to stop.
I got to see this research. I gotta see that research. I don't know what to say to that. Yeah, I just want to see the research. I'll just leave it with that.
Consuming all these toxic male energies because it affects the way y'all think. Your vagina is an extension of your unconscious. And the same thing happened for men. When we lay with women, we pick up a piece of you. You always carry a piece.
What in the fuck is wrong with him? I do not remember the names or faces of about 66% of the women I fucked. And I'm not joking. I am not joking. I truly do not. And I damn sure don't have any of my DNA, any of their DNA in me. And it's not because I use condoms. What in the entire fuck are you talking about? Like I said, I got to see this DNA study because it sounds like complete and total bullshit. It sounds like some Hotep, Ungawa type complete and total bullshit. I can fill a space and forget a face real quick. Damn sure not thinking about her damn DNA.
Of everybody you ever laid with
And
in
I
your
think
life.
that's a message that we need to spread to the men as well, because
I
it's not
agree.
just, it's not one way.
A lot of us are serial monogamous.
100%.
A lot of us are serial monogamous.
And
we don't want to
be alone.
Yes.
Yes. And I think that's
and we
a
don't
problem.
want to commit. I don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
But I don't want to commit.
Yeah.
Serial monogamy.
Let's get into the last segment before we wrap up. This is called Bitter or Sweet. It's a game. I'm going to give you this paddle. So basically, I'm going to run through. We're going to have to do this really quickly. So bitter or sweet.
Take your time. You're a sister.
Let me give you this one.
What does that mean?
So bitter or sweet. Bitter meaning you disagree, and sweet meaning you agree. I'm going to give you some scenarios. First one is wigs and weaves. Bitter or sweet?
Bitter. If it ain't nappy, I ain't happy. If I can't grab it, you can't have it.
Shut the fuck up. Like you wouldn't fuck her right across from you. That's the reason that you're there. She ain't nappy. Shut the fuck up.
Bitter. I want all nappy, everything, all natural.
Yeah, but you fuck her though.
I want organically African Australian queens from head to toe.
I love it and I hate it at the same time, because I don't like that Black women are always criticized. I don't like that. I get what you're saying. Let's empower our women. Let's do all those things. Yes. But then also we need to be mindful that, I feel like Black women are always they're always the topic of conversation. Our attitude, our hair. You can't do this. You can't wear this.
I agree.
You can't.
Overly.
Why did she say our attitude? Like she's an American Black woman. When we talk, we're not talking about you, whatever the fuck you are. I'm telling you, when it comes to Black women, you smack an ugly bitch and a pretty one says ouch.
And I don't like that.
I agree.
And I think that you saying
men
that
who date women with wigs and weaves have no business criticizing them for having wigs and.
Fuck that. That's your goddamn problem. And that's why I have no problem filling space and forgetting faces, because what the fuck else is there? It's like, bitch, you got a wig on. You see, both men and women need to understand basic concepts of good enough for bed and good enough for head, but not good enough to wed. Most women, well, I shouldn't say most of them aren't even good enough to bed, but many women fall into that category. Many women fall into that category. And for him to say, hey, if you're sleeping with a woman with a wig, then that doesn't mean you can. What the fuck? If a woman was attractive enough and she's in jail, I would fuck her. Oh, well, you condone women going to jail? No, I don't. but I condone me fucking attractive women. Fuck what you talking about. See, that is some dumb shit. That is some hotep dumb shit.
And then when you had your talk, I remember you said the same thing. You spoke about weaves. The way that the men felt, they rose and they were clapping. And I just feel like it doesn't come from a place of... Yeah, it comes from...
No, it's not hypocritical. She is placed in a category. Good enough to bed, good enough for head, not good enough to wed. You know? And no, I'm not going to complain about your weave to your face until after the facial.
If you date women with processed hair, you have no business criticizing them. I only date natural hair queens.
Okay.
Okay, when I go on the first date, I'm going to grab your hair as hard as I can to make sure it don't come off.
That's crazy.
And if it come off, I'm walking out the restaurant. Black power. We want black power, brothers and sisters.
All right.
What in the entire fuck? Why did you just now notice that she got a see-through shirt on? How did you miss that detail? You might as well say, hey, is that Dr. Umar? You just now realized? Okay, I'm gonna leave this alone.
I mean, you kind of answered this during the podcast, but settling for a man that makes less than you, bitter or sweet?
I think it is sweet, because if a woman can settle for a man, and I don't want to say settle, accept a man who earns less than him, she's sending him a message that she is there for much more than his paycheck. That type of relationship is going to last a long time because he knows she's there to hold him down.
Okay. And finally, black men and women casually dating people from another race.
Absolutely no bunny hopping, no ice, no rice, no spice, no sand, no salsa. Let me say it again. No ice, no rice, no spice.
Wait,
no
let me say it with
no
you.
salsa.
What is it? No
black
ice?
Men for black women for black men. I don't want to see no snow bunnies.
Okay. Just because he said that, I'm going to have some ice water with some spicy rice that I buy at a Chinese food restaurant because you are out your fucking mind. With some salsa.
I want honey bunnies. I want caramel bunnies. I want butter almond bunnies. I want walnut bunnies. I want guave bunnies. I want butterscotch bunnies. I want warm peanut butter bunnies. I want fudge bunnies. I don't want no snow bunnies.
Damn. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Black queens forever.
You should fuck them. You should fuck them. But you're not. Now, he don't know that. See, he don't know that all this rah-rah pro-black shit, is not going to get him any closer to her pussy. He don't know that. He think that he's actually turning her on with, by talking to her insecurities. Basically, what he's doing is he's broadcasting that she don't have to compete with other bunnies for his attention. And what she's thinking is, that's good. That means that you'll be here when I'm an old bunny, still waiting. Shout out to Boyce Watkins.
Snow bunnies never. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my queen.
Dr.
We got to
Umar
do this
Johnson.
again when I come back.
Yeah, we need to. Guys,
Part
thank
two.
you so much for tuning.
When Dr. Umar comes back. One love.
There's a lot that we're going to get into.
Yeah, you want to spend some more time. She got like less than 3,000 subscribers and your ass is there.
to, because I know we were on a time crunch and there's so much that I want to get into with you. But thank you.
I didn't know this was a relationships podcast.
This was a relationship podcast.
Because I would have told McGang to give us the time. But next time we'll be ready.
Yeah, next time we need 2 hours.
Because we don't talk about this enough.
At all.
So next time we'll be ready.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's episode. Just another shout out to McGang, who's the founder of
our Cable Line Library. If you live in Melbourne, Australia, make sure you support my young brother, McGang. Support all the African community. When I come back, we're going to be doing a lot of programs throughout Australia to bring the African family together. I don't care what nationality. I don't care what religion. I don't care what flag. I don't care what language. One Africa, one people, one family. Support the Buy Our Cable Line Library.
All right, guys. We'll be having...
That sounds like some bullshit. The Buy Out Cable Line Library sounds like some complete and total hotep bullshit.
All the links in the bios. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
All right. Get rid of that foolishness. Who's here? Okay. I'll put the link out there for people who want to come up. Triple X, if you want to ask her a question on the panel, we can. So she is a pro-black stripper. Yeah, I think you do like strippers. What's on your mind, H&M?
First of all, what's good, GC?
Not much, man. What's on your mind?
Man, Umar Johnson. He is something else. While he did hit hard on some points, there's some things I just don't agree with. Like the part where he said, well, when a woman sleeps around with different men, a part of her is with that man. That may be true, but he says the same thing for men. I don't think so. I think we take a part of those women, and for the most part, we can sleep with a woman and not even give a shit. So we're not connected to them like they are to us. It's not the same dynamic. Where does he come up with this stuff? He knows it's not the same thing for men as it is for women. So I don't agree with the statement. Uses the females that get emotionally attached. A part of them comes to us, like a vampire sucking out the blood of its victims. She's a part of you, not the other way around. Because you may not remember what the fuck she looked like the next day, or care what she looked like or does the next day. Just saying.
Well, yeah, that's all I was saying. I don't remember most of the time, and it's not because I have a particularly poor memory. It's because I'm in my 40s, and that's a lot.
So you choose not to remember them?
Well, I mean, people don't really choose what they do or don't remember unless there were significant circumstances surrounding the ordeal. Then there's really not much I can remember. You know, and like I say, it's the name I don't remember. So, I mean, I remember more experiences than I do the name of the person I had the said experiences with. So, absolutely. But I mean, do you remember, you know, your classmates in the third grade? Like, you forget names over time.
Well, I still got my old albums, you know, from my old photo albums from way back 25, 30 years ago. So I ain't forgot them completely. Now, if I saw them up close, I'd be like, don't I remember you?
Completely, if you need an album to remember them. You know,
like I said, I keep it, so there's no way I can forget them, you know? Same thing with the high school yearbook. It's like, I remember these people, most of them anyway.
Please don't tell me, H&M, that every now and again you refer to your third grade yearbook to remember the people of elementary.
No, not really. I don't go that damn far.
That's what I mean. High school yearbook is a little, I'm talking about, you know, like less recent times. So I did look up, do sex change your DNA? And actually I have to reword that because
do sex change your DNA? What?
Well, that's what Umar was suggesting, but I think that Google rated it as sex change. So does having sex change your DNA?
I don't get it.
Well, that's because he's talking stupid.
How does having sex change your DNA? What the fuck?
No,
you may have somebody's DNA on you. You may have someone's DNA on you, but it ain't gonna change you.
Okay, they're still looking at sex as gender. Let's see. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right. Studies did not find women store DNA from sexual intercourse. There you go. There you go. First thing that pops up.
What did it say?
Studies did not find women store DNA from sexual intercourse. It sounded like bullshit. I'm telling you, these whole tests be full of shit. Like that's what's bothersome. So somebody asked me, am I not pro-black? Yes, you could be pro-black without being a part of the foolishness that they have co-opted the term and turned it into complete and total foolishness. Just like a person can believe that Black Lives Matters without believing in the organization of the same name. So just to answer that. All right, it says, I'm just waiting for Dr. Umar's white baby mama to emerge from the shadows with his biracial bastard. Like, I don't know who that is. Adidan? Adidan?
Adion.
Adion. Okay, thank you. All right, bruh. Ain't end of day as full-grown adult Black men. FBA us. No swirling. No going against creation. No rainbow. No swirling. Okay, I don't know what you're saying because of the sentence structure, but I will say that to put those in the same category is not the same thing when we say no rainbow, no swirling, because it's just not. Those are completely separate things. To conflate the two would mean that you don't know the difference between sleeping with a Black man versus a white woman. Like it would suggest that that you're the same. Y'all sound like incels. Okay. You know what they sound like.
Who the hell you calling incel?
I
really swear, some
care.
people. Yeah. I don't either. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But it says, I guess Dr. Umar means that the RNA in sperm mixes with the DNA in a woman. So why would sperm have RNA?
Good question. Why would sperm have RNA?
And it's
even if it did, don't change shit.
It's not consumed that way. So yeah, I call cap on that. But even still, it's it's genetically programmed to seek out certain sequences in the RNA, which would make it the same as if it got that from anywhere. There's a lot of feminized dudes out there based on all the body counts. LOL. I don't know if having a body count. Okay. D squared. Answer me this. Why do you believe that there's a difference between sleeping with 60 women or sleeping with one woman 60 times from a biological standpoint, meaning how the male body receives it? How is that different other than increasing potential STDs? How would the male body perceive that differently? You got to make them more feminine.
I don't know. Every cooch is not the same, I guess.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that men should be polygamous, D squared. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is, and by the way, women's anatomy changes. First of all, it doesn't vary significantly, at least not that aspect of their anatomy. But secondly, there are variations in time with the woman. So, there is that. But yeah, I'm not promoting monogamy or polygamy or anything like that. Do what you like to do in that regard. But understand that there exist men who have high body counts because they've been in a prolonged selection process, a prolonged vetting process, and because we like sex. I enjoy the company of beautiful women. I do. Keisha ain't canceling dick. No. Oh, and that reminds me of the last thing I say before I go. What else did you need, HM?
Oh no, that's all I had to add in there. I mean, Umar Johnson, this is the same guy that threw Blackmen under the bus, saying that women have poor selections because of us men. knowing damn well women choose these men, knowing damn well they need to own up to the fact that they choose men the same way we got to own up to the bullshit women we choose. I'm like, this guy has no balance. I'm sorry. He may seem balanced, but I don't think he's as balanced as he likes to he's not as balanced as he wants people to believe. Mm-mm.
Okay.
And I think
that
be
balanced.
I think old girl was British, by the way. She sounds like she had a UK British accent. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, aren't they very similar? The Aussie and the and British accents.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say, but you know, she's not from the U.S. and you know, but she seems.
You're kind of going in and out.
Really vested, more so than an international woman. How do you think that is?
I could barely hear you because you were going kind of in and out for a second.
No, I was just saying, why do you think she's so vested? No matter what nationality she is.
Why is she so invested? I don't know. Maybe she wants to understand, you know, Black culture, or maybe her culture is going through the same thing. Because I was told that women in the UK are no better than the ones here in America. At least that's what I was told anyway. Maybe someone that's been to the UK can tell us better, but I was told the dating market out there is no better. So maybe she wants to make a comparison to see which is which, or maybe she's curious. I don't know. It could be anything.
Why do you think that they're having the same problems in the UK that we're having here?
Because they gave into the feminine ideologies. Don't need a man. Don't need this. You know, I can do bad all by myself. I think it ain't just America. I was told the UK, Australia, any society in the Western Hemisphere has this issue compared to the society over East, like in the Asian countries or whatever the hell. They don't have too much of the same issue. But then again, China got this issue as well. I mean, you did a show talking about China's dating market. I did one of my own. We can say that they're having the same problem. So maybe they're having the same issues and they want to see what's going on in other parts of the world. Is it as bad in where you come from, or is it compared to where you are now, or whatever the hell? Because we're not the only society having this problem.
Okay. So that makes sense. You're saying that they have the same curiosity that I have about China.
The same curiosity. Could be. Would you want a Chinese woman? If given a chance, would you date a Chinese woman, knowing what you know now?
I dated Chinese women, yes.
Oh, how'd that go? I'm just asking.
Depends on the woman. Sometimes it went well. Sometimes it, didn't really go well. But I mean, I don't have any complaints.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said that, hey, they're consuming the same message. Yes, they are.
And okay,
hey,
so
they're consuming the same messages.
And who do you think is feeding them the messages that they're consuming? Let's start there.
Feeding them, or more like what's feeding them? The media, mainstream media, social media, the whole nine. Who and what is feeding them?
How often do you think the mainstream media talks about Black American relationships?
Not a lot, from what I'm seeing. Not a lot. I mean, I've seen some articles, some CNA, a few of them talking about the dating market is going down. There's more lonely men than it was 50, 60 years ago, but that's the most I see. But the mainstream don't talk about this shit often.
I found it. So it's a Coffee Pill podcast. I just found what I was looking for. So let me share this.
Okay, I know who that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to him. Support him if you can.
I'm finna hop off in a little bit. I got to get off to work.
All that. Yo, I just.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming up.
I mean, I'll stick around for a little longer to this video, but I'm gonna hop off after this one. Continue.
Okay.
somebody else who says, as a man, I wouldn't even ask for all that.
Yo, I just watched a clip of Dr. Umar. If you ain't Dr. Umar, y'all can scroll. Do me one more favor, because I got so much respect for you. Stop pushing this goddamn narrative that black women are in a black man that's in progress. That is such bullshit. That is probably the biggest load of bullshit that I've ever heard. The reason why we don't want to y'all when y'all ain't got shit is because you're not loyal. You're not loyal.
This hit a spot with her.
Okay.
We're not loyal.
You can tell she's.
It's kind of breaking up though.
It got personal.
It ain't never had shit to do with money. We building.
All right, I'm buffering, so hold on. Let me go back some.
Got personal.
It ain't never had shit to do with money. We've been taking care of y'all. We've been investing in y'all. We've been building y'all up. I never married a girl that built you up. You never get a black woman give you y'all up. She could be fat. Next thing we know, you with a skinny. So stop this narrative.
Comment down below.
Okay. And there you go. Ladies, don't think that you can invest your way out of being a fat ass ugly bitch. Don't think that that will work. Now, when I said with the whatever that woman was with the body, that she probably was with a man who was significantly more handsome than she is pretty, and that's why that happened, because that's how women tend to be used in that way. If a man can upgrade in looks, many of them will upgrade in looks, especially if there's a tremendous difference. And then there's also a treatment factor. See, a lot of guys are in relationships because he's broke. Meaning that, listen, if I didn't need $700 a month, I would not be with this hippopotamus. The reason for me being in this relationship with this hippopotamus is because I need $700. Hippopotamus. And that is the cold, hard, cash truth. He needs that. He's down bad. And yes, when they do better, they will leave you for any woman. You are at the absolute bottom of female attractiveness, and you're obnoxious. I can tell. First of all, I could tell a lot. I could tell that your house smells funny. Let's start there. I can look and kind of tell that your house smells funny. Look at your teeth. The moment a man has the opportunity to get with a slim woman with braces, he is going to take it. And then you talk about support. How much support can you possibly give? This is madness. This is madness. And they get mad. They actually get mad. They actually like, oh, I can't believe that. Listen. Okay, somebody said no screen. I thought it was something wrong with my system. But listen, this is not appealing. Instances where guys leave the person that support them is because they look like this. The only guy that is going to stay with this woman, and she will find a guy. The only guy that's going to stay and be with this woman is a guy who is perpetually down bad, who knows he ain't gonna be shit for forever. He knows that she don't have central air. She has a fucking like air conditioner that's slammed into a windowsill. If you are a man who knows that you ain't ever gonna be shit, then you have embraced this. You have no ambition for life. She reminds me of the guy on the Goonies that said, "Hey, you guys." And yes, she is going to look for a guy who is more handsome than she is pretty, because each and every single person on the planet, each and every single guy on the planet is more handsome than she is pretty. Talking about, I supported you. Why did you leave? Well, the only reason why I got with you in the first place is because I was fucking homeless. And I needed an address to put on job applications. But now that I got this job at Panda Express, I'm going to leave you for an Asian girl. What the fuck? And then she's mad at the fact they leaving me for slim women. Like, well, if you were slim, would they leave you for a fat woman? Why don't you get slim, get some jump rope, and tie your teeth together like braces, like a tourniquet. And once you do that, then you go to, and then you will be the one, yeah, just let the fat bitch, because then guys will be leaving fat bitches for you. Why don't you do that? This is the type of tomfoolery that exists. Now here, I want to read the comments on that. Then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go in like 10 minutes, but I'm gonna read the comments of the previous video that I covered just now. Hit the like button. All right. Okay, let me point something out. So, this is her channel, right? All of her videos, look, 584, 284, 434. For whatever reason, everything in this line ends with 4. 774, 625, 464. Dr. Umar, 106,000. 106,000. So he did her a tremendous favor. And you want to know why? That body, though. That body, though. That's why he did that tremendous favor. He went to a podcast that has 400 to 800 people on any given episode
That has to be
that's watching, and he brought it up. She has more likes in this video than she does subscribers. He did her a tremendous favor. Umar coming through for podcasts with only 1,000. So yeah, at the time, so she got at least 700 subscribers since this was written. With 1.9K subscribers on a whole nother continent should be applauded. Yeah, right. She should give him a fucking blowjob. That's what she should be doing. All right. I'm a man from the United States, and I have been to Brazil, South Africa. Despite the geographical difference, we share more similarities than one might think. Okay, that was a useless statement. Let's see. Don't take the kinks out of your hair. Take the kinks out of your mind, Marcus Garvey. This is just some mumbo jumbo. Great insight. My daughter makes six figures, but married her high school sweetheart who was bagging groceries. Did she marry him while he was bagging groceries and while she was making six figures? She married him and wrote him a resume, yes, because he needed that more than he needed $700 a month. She married him, wrote him a resume, which allowed him to get a great job. He doesn't earn the same income as her, okay, but they're amazing together. They have beautiful kids and are living that life, like mother, like daughter. Okay, good for her. If it ain't happy, I ain't happy. Okay, these are crap comments. Chaos, say something good, because I'm about to go. I'm with Dr. Umar totally. He's on point. Okay, let's see.
Can you hear me now? You hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Yes. I have a question, a serious question, Game Changer. I know a lot of people still talk about Omar. Isn't there a point now to get tired of this dude? Because dude's not saying nothing really different when he's on these different podcasts. Dr. Omar, he tell people stay away from Stone Buddies, Black Power. It's getting redundant. Don't you think?
Well, but I'm talking about.
Just personally, because I don't cover him. Last time I covered him was a whole year ago on my channel, and I stopped after the point when I find that this dude, he's not about nothing. He didn't have the school running. He's playing games, and it's better off he just run around with this pro-black nonsense and keep it moving. But in regards to black empowerment and educating these children, I don't see it. It'll take a whole decade with the money he has to really start something.
Well,
he's parking the money.
Right. He did say something different. Let's start there. He just said something significantly different, and I covered it. And we're talking about it. Chaos, to be honest, I don't understand the concept of, talking about what you shouldn't talk about.
I mean, no, I'm just for my sake. I'm just giving my honest opinion personally. Because overall, in the long run, if something different that his rhetoric's changed about black people, then yes, maybe we could talk about. I mean, just as me. But when I go and I really study him closely, on the podcast or all the panels he be a part, it's the same message. If you think about it. Now, if you say he talked about something different, maybe it's something briefly different, but really overall, what you see is what you get from Dr. Umar Johnson. Well, he's trying to get in these ladies. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, yeah. The reason why we're doing this, Chaos, is because today he talked about something different.
Okay. If you talk about something different, I mean, was some profound? Was some profound? They said something different. That
the title, like Dr. Umar spoke against the Black Queen, is different. It's off of his brain. That's why I'm covering it.
I ain't laughing. I'm keeping real with you. Black woman's still gonna suck this man's Johnson, regardless he says something bad. Cause when they listen to him overall and they look at him over as a man,
now.
Huh? Oh, what you say? Say again.
I honestly don't think that they're sucking it now.
Oh, they're going to. So if they come across this content from this lady, and I'm going to go back.
Let's do this.
All right.
Why do you think they're going to suck this Johnson, or why do you think they ever did?
I mean, because he tells them what they want to hear, and think about it. He's not screwing just regular, decent shaped black women. He's screwing the fat ones. Can we be honest?
I don't think he's screwing any of them. And I can be honest.
You think so? You sure about that?
No, I'm not sure about that because I'm not in his life, but I have just as much reason to believe that he's not that you believe that he is. Black women don't screw based on race loyalty alone. Derek Jackson, for example, who was paying, even though he has physical appeal, height, and black female loyalty, he still had to, go the distance, pay a tremendous amount of money. So I
Yeah.
don't think that he would have better luck at that game than Derek Jackson.
Okay.
And Boyce Watkins didn't have any luck at it at all. I think that there is no sexual
Yeah, that's true.
opportunity. I think that there is no sexual opportunity in the pro-black community. I think that it's just two genders trying to get over on each other.
I think some of them might benefit with this pro-black stuff, and they might be screwing these women. Let's be honest, because we're not in their pants. We don't know them personally in the day-to-day life, but I guarantee you, if you send out a message and do it right, Kamara, you have to market it, this pro-black shit. You got to market it very well to get the outcomes. And, yeah, it's been marketed, but not everybody could do this. You know this, Game Changer. There's some people that try to do content to try fall side to the pro-black crap, which i.e., where try and get black women to fall in love with them or come on their side, watch their channel, give them likes, etc. Not everybody could do this. You know this.
To be pro-black to get laid.
Oh, me? No, man. I don't really pretend much. I'm just me. I don't fall on the banners.
So,
I've interviewed people that were on this banners, but I don't. After years and seeing the progression of how we're going,
sexual advantage. Right. So if there was a sexual opportunity, in doing that, you would probably take it, right?
If my intention is to get as much as possible, then yes, that would be the logical route to go. Correct.
That's not your intention?
That's not her intention? Who?
You said that if you had a goal of getting as much as possible, you don't have a goal of
yes.
getting more ass?
Yeah. If that's the goal, to me, I would say yes. That would be probably the best route to go.
Is that not a goal of yours?
No, that's not my focus. To really get as much as possible right now.
What is your focus?
I'm trying to be productive, make as much money as possible, and
you can't make money.
Live life
at the same time.
I mean, you could do both. Why not? No one stops people say to do one thing and the other. We as men we try to do as much as possible.
Doing both?
And I'm doing both right now. Mostly, actually, not right now. My folks are trying to make money right now. Right now, money and other things. If ass comes around, yes, I do it.
So you're not getting ass. You're not getting ass because you're focused on money, right?
Yeah, I'm focused on one thing. I can't indulge in that right here because if I focus on ass, I'm gonna be more broke. I'm just gonna keep it real with you.
Okay.
So I gotta spend time, money, do all this other shit. If we're talking about America now, you get me?
Mm-hmm.
But if I was traveling, from what I'm hearing, it might be a different outcome, a little bit. But when here, you have to play the game, unless you got it like that. This Game Changer.
I understand. As a person who enjoys both money and ass, I can tell you that there isn't any in becoming a super pro black. It does not give you a sexual advantage.
Well, okay, all right. We're not gonna argue about that. I'm not gonna go back and forth with that. I'm not gonna argue.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm ready to this down my head up. But thanks for coming up.
All right. Thank you. Right. Take care.
Peace. One school in one state will never be able to improve the education level of Black boys collectively across the country. Yeah, it's a step in the right direction. He just hasn't taken that step yet. It says, are we too dumb to realize this? Make it make sense. Well, once again, it's a step in the right direction, but I feel that he should take that step, and he's not. He's taken the money, a significant amount of money, but he hasn't taken a step in that direction. So, yeah, it's I don't think it's a serious venture, and I think that he's using the money for other reasons. You're welcome, Chaos. All right. And last but not least, let me just check one thing before I get out of here. Okay. So I'd like to thank everybody that participated. And I'd like to thank the members, managers, and moderators, those who are listening silently, and those participating in the chat. Hit that like button on your way out. Game Changer 00100. Game over. Peace.